Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast, going live to say what's up to the people of Miami. It's been a long time. How are you, Miami? In case you don't know, my name is Manny Garavito. I go live every day-ish. I've been taking a bit of a break, but I decided to go live today because guess what? I'm bored. And boredom can make you do some incredible things, like going live right after a nap. But first of all, I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you. All right. What did I miss? How are you guys? Shout out to the chat. We are officially now on TikTok. What's up to the people at TikTok? Hello to the people over on Instagram. Chef Bubs, Lucy, Tiffany Russo, Logmar, Flingman, Luis, Ephraim Palmer, Chef Viden. All right, guys, so today I'd like to talk to you about the importance of facial hair, hairstyles, and how that comes off to people. In case you can't see, I shaved my mustache because I've been getting roasted for way too long. You know, I really believe that learning how to roast or playfully insulting people is a very important skill. If I ever have kids, which most likely is not a possibility, I'm not looking forward to having any kids anytime soon, but if I ever did, one of the skills that I would teach them to do is how to roast people. I think roasting is one of those skills that are so underrated. Imagine the kind of lifestyle a young kid would have going to school knowing that they know how to insult people in case they ever get bullied. I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody asks for their school lunch money, and the kid then goes, can somebody, you got all the other kids surrounding them because the kids like to see fights. All the kids going around. Will he give up his lunch money? Be like, can somebody help this guy out? He needs $1.50 so bad, he's bullying people. Can we get child protection services involved? This guy needs help. And then bam, he talks his way out of a fight. That's the importance of roasting. Kids should learn how to roast. As a matter of fact, DeSantis, if you're listening to this, why don't you allocate some of those $800 million that you got for the state of Florida to teach children how to roast? Lot less violence. You'll probably get an ego death early on in your childhood years. All right, if you get roasted to the point where nothing matters no more, you don't get humiliated anymore. Imagine the amount of confidence a child can have if he gets roasted by his peers and roasts them back. I'm telling you, roasting should be learned as early as possible. Learn how to take an insult and learn how to give a playful insult. Everything would get dismantled very easily. What's going on with people at TikTok? I didn't know TikTok was this popular. 136 people watching. Yo, Instagram, I love you to death, but TikTok is where it's at. Are you all from Miami, or is this like some bots that show up? Prove to me these aren't bots. Put some roses or whatever you guys buy. I love to learn. There you go. All right. W Blanco, learning how to take a roast. Absolutely. So here, I'm going to give you guys some examples of some of the roasts that I've been getting from my comedy friends and as to why I shaved my mustache. One that really got me was I was hanging out with my friend Brian outside of Thank You Miami, and Brian looks at me and goes, do you really enjoy looking like you're wearing a wire every day? and he's got a point. A lot of people have been looking at me in a very different light now that I had the thick mustache. But the thing is, it wasn't just a regular mustache. It was a mustache that goes around the lip. So it has like that Magnum PI look. And so that's probably why he associates, and he's a black man too. So I'm sorry, African-American man. And he he didn't like it. I told him, I was like, why do you always make fun of my mustache? Do I make you nervous? And he's like, yeah, you look like the feds. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. And then another friend on a different night says that I look like I have Luigi's mustache, but Mario's height. So here I am getting roasted back to back because of my mustache. Now, I believe a mustache is a very powerful facial feature because when I think of mustaches, I think of something like Burt Reynolds. I think of something like Sgt. Pepper's when the Beatles were like in between psychedelic and professional, right? They had great mustaches on that album. So I grew my mustache just to stand out, just to have a little bit of, personality on my face. But lo and behold, if you ever do something you like, Your friends, especially if they're comedians, will shoot you down just for fun. And, that's probably their own insecurity. That's not my problem necessarily, All right, so if you don't like my mustache, fine. But then the kicker was I went on stage over at the Tipsy Flamingo, and I'm talking about wanted posters and how having a facial feature like a mustache can easily either get you caught if you commit a crime, because all they have to do is he had a thick mustache, bam. They're going to bring it down to 2 or 3 people, okay? You, a pedo, and maybe some other guy that forgot to shave that morning, right? It's a very, when someone claims that the person that committed a crime has a mustache, your options are limited. You already know where to look. Isn't there a guy that has a live stream that has a big mustache? Let's go visit his house. Bam, we got him. Okay, so it's either you go that route, you get caught easily, or you don't get caught at all. Because if you have a very thick mustache and you go around showing people that you have a mustache, eventually it'll come to a point where if you shave it, people wouldn't even recognize you anymore. You could be like a superhero hiding your identity behind a mustache. It's that easy. All right, well, Mocha over on the chat says, are we talking about the hairstyle or what? We're talking about all sorts of hairstyles. On the face, on the chin, over on the head. And so whatever. When I asked the people over at Tipsy Flamingo, what do they think of my mustache? They gave me the slow clap. Now, in my defense, they were a very cynical crowd. There was a lot of them, and none of them were leaving. There was a good 60 people inside of this place. Now, this place was very packed, slammed. Tipsy Flamingo, it's one of our best comedy shows. And the people that were there were specifically there for the comedy show because they just hey, everybody shut up. I want to see this guy make bad choices in his life. And then they would just stare at you, right? All the comedians were there. I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. Our shows are always a good time. But this particular show just had people sitting back and watching and seeing us try to work out material. And I kind of felt like they had a monocle or they were spectating from the rafters or something because they just had this judgmental eye. But they were so quiet for an hour and a half just watching every comedian, right? And they would giggle and they would laugh here and there, but there wasn't a lot of energy, right? There was just a judgmental vibe happening. So when they gave me the slow clap, I'm like, you know what? Tonight is the night that I'm shaving my mustache. I want to thank you all for coming out and letting me know that this mustache is going down tonight. All right, so then that's the story. That's the story as why I no longer have this mustache. But one thing I've learned is the importance of judging people not based on the color of their skin or their ethnicity, but rather being prejudiced based on how they comb their hair or how they shave, because these are decisions that you can easily make. If someone wakes up one morning and decides to leave their beard to grow scruffy, you already know that that person is either going through something or, if someone has a scruffy, I'll give you an example. If someone has a scruffy beard and they haven't shaven it, it's all loose and it just looks all crazy, you can offer them $1. And they'll most likely take it just based on the beard because they made a decision to look like that. See, racially or ethnically speaking, people don't have a decision to make. They're born that way. So if you were to ever be prejudiced against that, that's not fair for them. They didn't make that decision to be that, that color or from that country or to be grown up in that kind of family. But somebody that is letting their beard grow and it looks like a mess, that's a conscious decision. And a lot of days are involved. It's not just overnight. It's not a mistake. So if somebody is showing up to your life and their beard is looking messed up, give that man $1. Hook him up. Give him some money. He's going through hard times. Ask him, how's your day going? Ask him, can I do anything? All right. Another thing you can do, it goes the same for hairstyles. If you see a white dude and he has dreadlocks on, ask him to sell you weed. Okay. Be like, hey man, can I get some weed? Most likely that guy will have weed on him and he'll either sell it to you or share a joint with you. Okay? These are conscious choices that we have in our appearance. And if somebody's growing out dreads, they have weed. It's just what it is. That's just the way it goes. Being prejudiced when a choice is involved is more accurate than being prejudiced when there's no choice involved. Oh, you heard it here on the Miami Comedy Podcast. What up, Janet? Trap Barbie, welcome. I'm Ostop. Osap was actually the bartender at Tipsy Flamingo for that comedy show that I'm telling you guys about. Oh, what a fun one it was. All right. So moving forward, another thing you got to be very careful about when it comes to having facial hair or growing out a certain kind of hairstyle is, from now on, I'm realizing that as I age, I like the plain look. I like looking normal. I like the mustache, but of course, it just put too much of a spotlight on me. And shout out to all the people that hung out with me when I was having that mustache and keeping a serious face. All right, I did it for my own comedic purposes, but you guys actually muscled through that. You guys actually consciously did not say anything to me while I had this thick caterpillar on my face. So thank you for all the people in the last month or so that was hanging out with me with this thing, okay? I truly appreciate it. But now that I'm shaven, I think the 5 o'clock shadow works well because I can't grow a beard properly. I wish I could. My father grew a beard in his 40s, so maybe it'll kick in. Hopefully, genetically speaking, I can still have a beard. Okay? What up, VIP? Hopefully, I can still have a beard when my 40s kick in. But for now, if I were to grow my mustache, it just looks like I'm going through chemo because it comes out in patches. It looks like I'm going through some really tough times. Like, you guys would probably even give me $1 if I don't even need a full beard. Like, this area by my chin, right next to my lips, it doesn't connect. So I just get like these weird things, right? So anyways, so I'm going to go for the plain look. However, with the plain look, you really can't stand out. You really can't brand yourself. You really can't become the kind of person where it's like, oh, that's the guy that does that, if you have like a straight face. I think the only thing that could probably brand me is my eyes at this point. Like if I were to take a headshot and you were to see my headshot on a professional poster for a show, or maybe if you were to see me on a trailer on Hulu one day or something, like featuring Manny Garavito, oh, it's the guy with the sleepy eyes, right? Or it's the guy that always looks like he's high, right? I think that's the only facial feature I have that really stands out to people. And it amazes them to see that I'm not high. As a matter of fact, I'm glad I don't have to apply for jobs anymore with this look because people would probably drug test me twice just so they can be sure, right? And so when it comes to facial hair, when it comes to hairstyles or mustaches or beards or whatever, I think what ends up happening is it only works when something is popular and is doing it again. You know, when something is very popular and someone is doing what's popular, you then get branded as the person that's part of that popularity. And that makes me upset. Oh, that makes me so mad. Because when I grew my mustache, I'm not thinking pedophile. I'm not thinking snitch with a wire. That's society thinking that. Because that's what they see on TV. That's what they see on the internet. Oh, if you got a mustache, you must be a creeper. Oh, if you got a mustache, you must be an undercover cop. Oh my God, you're so original. Where do you get these ideas from? Right? When you try to reference Sgt. Pepper's, that's too obscure. No one's going to go back in time, and it makes sense. No one's going to go back in time to research the Beatles' best album and then be like, oh, you look like Paul McCartney when he had that mustache. When he was in his prime. You must be in your prime of looking creepy. Oh! Sorry, I had to sneak that one in there. Okay? So that's the problem with growing very risky facial hair or getting very risky haircuts. You got to look into pop culture and see what is currently being defined as the person that has this hairstyle or the person that has this facial hair. Okay? If you get a thick beard, but it's trimmed, but it's thick and it's got the fade, people are going to look at that beard and be like, Drake. You know what I'm saying? If you got the fade, but you got the little braids, you know, Travis Scott, Bad Bunny in 2019, I don't know. That's what it is. You can't get facial hair or a hairstyle without researching who in pop culture has that, because that's the category the world is going to put you in, and it makes me upset. It makes me upset because now I got to do some research and be like, well, if I want a 5 o'clock shadow, who nowadays has a 5 o'clock shadow? Oh, yeah, Grant Cardone. I saw him do the 10X talk over at the FTX arena. Are you going to sell me real estate with that 5 o'clock shadow? Huh? What's up, Andy? Oh, what's up, Danielle Elise? Nice meeting you. Los Sully. Remy Boy, what's going on? NFT Space, welcome. So when you try to go for the plain look, which I'm currently going, the only thing is you're only going to blend in more. You can't really brand yourself. And so what ends up happening is you have to surprise people and show them that you're not an ordinary person walking up and down the street with a 5 o'clock shadow and a comb over. All right? One of the most important things that you can do to really stand out in a personal way when you look plain, you know, I have no face tattoos. But if I did, you guys will remember me. But then what would you call me? Little hair follicle? Oh! Sorry. Right? People brand themselves with these appearances. If you look at football players, soccer players, if you look at a photo of a soccer team, they all have different hairstyles. You know why? Because they want to differentiate themselves out there. And shout out to soccer players for having some of the most original haircuts. I think they're the only ones that can get away with those looks, right? Because if you got like strong legs, you got a good physique, you're running up and down, you're looking athletic everywhere you go, having an outlandish haircut works in your favor, right? There's no denying who you are as a person. If you've got, I don't know, what's like one of the crazy, like a crazy wavy comb over with 2 lines on the side and a crazy fade on one side but not on the other, right? If you're running around with a soccer ball, people are going to be like, soccer player, okay? But if you see me walking up and down Brickell with that hairstyle, you're going to see me and be like, wannabe SoundCloud rapper. So I really think the original style or the original look can go a long way. But here's what you got to do. In order for it to go a long way in a personal way, you got to surprise people. And you know how they say like the gift of gab is important when you go out on a date or when you meet a girl? It's because you're surprising them with a certain appearance, but then the appearance then is more than what it is because you're able to talk to them. You got a nice flip though. Oh, thank you. Over on TikTok. What's up to Invest Starters, my good friend? Yo, TikTok is awesome, man. I got to go live on TikTok more often. Just a bunch of people going live with me all at once. 343 likes. This stream got 343 likes. Over on Instagram, I can't even get 1 like from my oldest listener. No, I don't like this topic. It's not about me. I don't really think TikTok is real. I'm one of those people that actually believe that TikTok is one of those fake. I think these numbers are inflated. There's no way. There's no way. Or is it that Instagram has been holding out on us the whole time? There's 18 people watching him live. Yeah, but he's not buying enough ads. Tell me only 3 people are watching. This guy's only giving us $1,000 in the last 3 months. No. Bring down his numbers. We don't like it. Oh, is there a TikTok logo on his reel? Shadow banned. Don't allow the algorithm to show that to nobody except his grandma. TikTok, they don't care. Yo, put everything here. Now, share it with everyone. We're going to send you know what? We want you to make it. We're going to send your video clips all the way to Sri Lanka. Little kids with dial-up are going to be watching your video. Shout out to TikTok. If you guys want to follow me on TikTok, it's at Miami Comedy. All right? So, there you go. All right. Are we in? Are we done? 6:23. Let's keep going. 7 more minutes. Let's wind it down. Another thing about looking plain and not trying to stand out so much, the only thing that sucks is that people that have really good personalities and look very plain are the ones that could be a little dangerous. Not going to lie. I've met and I've seen a lot of documentaries where people that have the plain look, you know what comes to mind? If you guys saw the new Batman movie, the way the Riddler looks, like clean-shaven, long-haired, glasses. some guy that's quiet, doesn't want to stand out. Those are the dangerous ones because those are the ones that are trying to hide their identity. They're not going to grow a mustache to stand out. They're going to try to be as subtle as possible. And now that I've shaven my mustache, I've got no choice but to fall in that category of a plain-looking guy that has an amazing personality. You'll probably get taken aback. You'll probably be looking at me. He's like, why are you such a cool guy? Not to brag. Why are you such a cool guy, but you look so plain? Where's your beard? Where's your mustache? Where's your swagger? Why don't you have a gold chain? You know what I mean? Pop culture. Pop culture is branding looks, and it's only giving us a set amount of looks, and it's upsetting. It's upsetting that I only have a finite amount of options to choose from. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to get a fake beard. I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but apparently there's like some sort of fabric or something that goes on men's faces. They blow dry that thing out, and then they just start shaving, and then they just shape you up. Can you imagine if I just show up to a comedy show with that look? You guys would blow your minds. But then eventually you'll get used to it. You'll make fun of me for like a whole month and a half. Since I hang out with comedians, maybe 2 months. Let's give it 3 months. All right, after 3 months of rocking a fake beard, you guys are going to get used to it. No one's going to question it. And then now I'm acceptable in society with a Drake beard. And you know what? I'm going to add the little heart to match on my head. Do that for a long enough time and the world will accept you. Look at Manny with the Drake look. Doesn't he look so fresh? Oh, it makes me upset. All right. Calm down, Manny. It's just a podcast. All right. Good news, guys. We got a comedy show tonight. We're going to be over at Dom's Brickle. Showtime's at 9 o'clock. So for those that like the late night show, that's going to be an ideal place to go. Dining by DC Pie Co. Cocktails provided by Dom's. We always have a sexy crowd there on Tuesday. So if you're going on a date and you want to make Tuesdays feel like a Friday, I'm telling you, this is the go-to place to do it. Do make your reservations in advance, please. There's only like 6 tables there, and each table sits 2. I can fit like 12 people. The rest are standing. Please, MiamiComedy.com. Subscribe to the podcast, MiamiComedy.com/YouTube. Thursday, we're back at another show over at the one on Sunset, our brand new restaurant partnership. And you know what? It feels like a comedy club there. If you like Dom's, the one on Sunset is a bigger version of it, but it's more down south by Coral Gables. I highly recommend you guys check it out, especially if you're hungry. Great menu. The guy that owns the place is the chef, and you know the food is good when the owner is cooking it, all right? Definitely check that restaurant out either Thursday night or Saturday night. And then over Sunday night, we're over at, then on Friday night, we're over at Thank You Miami, and then on Sunday night, we're at Tipsy Flamingo. I got so many shows, I lose track. That's what's going on right now. So many shows, so many different schedules. MiamiComedy.com is where you can find them all if you want all the details. All right, it's good to be back on the podcast. I want to thank you all for joining in on this talk on looks, beards, mustaches, and getting roasted. There you go. Landed this comedy plane, and now we're live on a brand new channel. It's good to be on TikTok. So now let's count down where we're at. We're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and the Facebook group. That's 7 channels. And how many watches we got? 8. We're blowing up. It's happening so fast, guys. I don't know if I can handle this. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night, y'all. Bye.